My name is Kathleen Wilkinson, and I have the pleasure of introducing our next speaker. Jeralyn Lawrence is the managing member and founder of Lawrence Law Firm, which is located in New Jersey. It is a boutique law firm that specializes in family law. She is the past president of the New Jersey Bar Association and has a very long resume of accomplishments. She is a graduate of Kane College as well as Seton Hall Law School. Jeralyn made wellness the centerpiece of her year as the president of the New Jersey Bar Association. Jeralyn, would you tell us why you feel wellness is so important to lawyers and why you made it a centerpiece of your year as president?
I just think it is just so incredibly important that it was one of my primary platforms, my presidential year, and a big agenda item. And what spoke to me was a quote from Desmond Tutu that we need to stop pulling people out of the river. We need to look upstream and find out why they're falling in. So as part of a presidential initiative, we formed a task force called Putting Lawyers First, and it studied a lot of areas in the law as to where lawyers were not put first. And certainly one of those areas of the law is in wellness. We never put ourselves first. We put the court first, we put our clients first, we put our firms first, we put our families first, but we never come first. So we wanted to study that. So part of the Putting Lawyers First task force, we had a subcommittee that focused on attorney wellness. That subcommittee worked with the professor, Matt Deese, out in the University of Utah, in formulating a survey on attorney wellness issues. And what we found in response to that survey was alarming. 1,637 lawyers responded to our survey. And what we found is we are a profession in crisis. Now, we knew that, I think we feel that, but the survey confirmed what we feared. And the results of those surveys told us that our burnout is nearly 2 times as high as any other working population. 49% of the lawyers that responded to our survey described feeling burned out. 23% of us reported being depressed. We reported a high percentage of depressive symptoms. We are 2.5 times higher than other working populations. We are 2.5 to 3 times higher than other working populations of having suicidal ideations. Sadly and shockingly, 10% of those that responded to our survey responded that they had suicidal ideations, thoughts of self-harm in the 2 weeks leading up to the survey. 52% of us feel bad about ourselves or feel as if we have let ourselves or our families down. 56% of us have misused alcohol. We are 4 times higher than a reported sample of full-time workers to misuse alcohol. 14% of us abuse drugs. Drug abuse is 1.5 times higher than comparative published data. 28% of us consider leaving the profession. 68% of us have felt anxiety in the last 2 weeks. That is 5 times higher than most recent data on other working populations. The California Lawyers Association and the DC Bar also conducted their own survey, and they shared that lawyers with high stress levels, I don't know any other kind of lawyer, but they are 22 times more likely to contemplate suicide than those with low stress. On aggregate, their surveys found 8.5% of lawyers reported suicidal thoughts compared to 4.2% of the United States population age 18 or over. Again, New Jersey, we found ourselves at about 10%. So those statistics, that survey is alarming. As I said, we're a profession in crisis. So we know there's a problem. To me and to the New Jersey State Bar Association and to you, Kathleen, and hopefully all those attending the seminar, what do we do about it? So in New Jersey, we've been doing a lot about it. We are fortunate that we have a Supreme Court that is really engaged in attorney wellness. Chief Justice Rabner appointed immediately a wellness committee. We have a Supreme Court Wellness Committee now. It is chaired by Justice Solomon, a justice on our Supreme Court. There are various subcommittees. The administrative director of the court, Judge Glenn Grant, is a co-chair with me on a very important subcommittee where we're trying to tackle these issues. But there are various subcommittees hard at work in the Supreme Court committee. And we're working hard as to some takeaways and action items. Some have already occurred. In New Jersey, we have 21 counties, so we have a host of assignment judges. We don't have 21 assignment judges because some of our counties are vicinage-wide, so some assignment judges serve multiple counties. But we have many assignment judges, and they spent time in September and October this year when they were addressing members of the Bar Association speaking about attorney wellness. It's the first time I can remember in about 30 years of practice, my assignment judge addressing our Bar Association about how important attorney and judiciary wellness is. So that was meaningful. We're putting on a bunch of seminars that talk about attorney wellness. We're planning listening sessions and town hall meetings across the state to talk to our colleagues about attorney wellness. So we're trying to come up with action items for the court to address attorney wellness, to keep this in the conversation, to keep this in the forefront of everybody's minds. In addition to what our Supreme Court is doing, our State Bar Association certainly takes attorney wellness seriously. Right now, we are planning a wellness conference where state court judges, federal court judges, a Supreme Court justice, the clerk of our court, really some very prestigious, successful women will be speaking about wellness and giving tips about when they had a hard time or when they may have fallen apart. What do they rely on to stay well, to be well, and continue in their wellness journey? So we're hopeful that that conference is meaningful and authentic and leads people with tips as to stay well. The State Bar Association has also went into our reserves. We didn't charge our members, but we went into our reserves to partner with a therapeutic provider, and we've offered a member benefit. The company is CNA, Charles Nectum and Associates. And right now, if you're a member of the State Bar Association, you have unlimited phone calls and e-counseling, counseling through email, or 3 free in-person counseling sessions. So that is something we went into our reserves to pay for, at least for this year. Our current president, Tim McGoffrin, and Angela Scheck remain passionate and committed to this cause and are seeking funding as to how we can continue this program. Right now, we are helping hundreds of lawyers. I think we're in excess of 700 lawyers. Not only do the lawyers get free services, but household members as well. So we've not only tried to talk the talk, but also walk the walk in addressing attorney wellness. So that's what's happening in New Jersey. That's what we're trying to accomplish. So grateful for you to include a little piece of New Jersey here, the Putting Lawyers First Task Force and our wellness initiative. Hopefully it's helpful and sheds some light as to what we're doing, and some other bar associations are encouraged or have heard something that is interesting to them. We're happy to speak to you about it, to share what we've learned, to pass this along as far and wide as we can.
Thank you, Jeralyn. If you had one takeaway to give us today on the importance of wellness to the bar, what would that one takeaway be?
The number one word that I've been hearing through all of my wellness conversations is normalize. And the more we talk about it and the more we can normalize the fact of the statistics that I just recited, that they are real and that this is what our colleagues are suffering, the more we can normalize asking for help, normalize that this is part of the fabric of our community and our colleagues suffering. So let's just continue the conversation. Let's normalize the conversation about this and asking for help, and continue to think outside of the box as to how we can provide services and platforms to our colleagues in need.
Thank you very much, Jeralyn, for sharing your knowledge with us today. The National Conference of Bar Presidents appreciates it very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Kathleen.